The Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros, claims that there will be many more deaths due to outbreaks, lack of access to food and water, and disruption to essential health services, including immunization in Sudan. The WHO chief has spoken out. Tedros has said that more deaths are expected, and this is because of many outbreaks, the lack of access to food and safe water, and disruptions to essential. Let's listen in to exactly what he had to say.
Already, the violence has taken a terrible toll on health. On top of the number of deaths and injuries caused by the conflict itself, WHO expects there will be many more deaths due to outbreaks, lack of access to food and water, and disruptions to essential health services, including immunization.
Siddhant, we just heard from Tedros Ghebreyesus about the fact that staying in Sudan could actually be very detrimental to health as well because of those various factors. Just in case, we have some Indians stranded, are there any transit facilities that have been provided for them?
Well, yes. Basically, a truce has been mediated. 72 hours truce has been mediated by the government of Saudi Arabia and United States. But what I was told by evacuees yesterday that the truce or any sort of a ceasefire, if announced, is only partially implemented. So if you get an assurance that there's going to be a ceasefire or maybe a truce or there would be a smooth movement of convoys forming a human corridor, but one cannot, or maybe one nation cannot rely on these commitments being given by the government of Sudan, because they say that the ceasefire is only partially implemented. In fact, a lot of them were stopped by various militia groups on their way to Port Sudan. A lot of them were frisked also. A lot of them were looted by militia group RSF. But one thing which I would like to bring out for our viewers is that since there was a lot of pressure on the government of Sudan from the Indian government, and also the Indian government did take a route of Saudi Arabia and UAE, which these two countries enjoy greater influence in Sudan, to put pressure on the government of Sudan so that no Indian should get hurt, no Indian should get harassed, and they should not be attacked by any of the groups. And both these warring groups did abide by this commitment. And when I was speaking to Indians yesterday at the airport, they did tell me that there was a strong message from the Indian government to the government of Sudan that no Indian should, the life of any of the Indians should not be risked, and they should not be touched, they should not be harassed, and that was maintained by both the warring groups. So that is also one of the achievements of the Indian government, that for 9 days the Indians were stranded in Sudan. Maximum they were looted, their cash was taken, their basic amenities were taken, but they were not hurt, they were not attacked by the forces. So this credit also goes to the Indian government, that Indian government did manage to build enough pressure on the Sudanese government and obviously the militia group RSF to not go after Indians. And since Indians are seen with a lot of respect in Sudan, Indians have been contributing to the development of Sudan from last 20-30 years. So Indians hold a very good reputation there, and that is also one of the reasons that when they were traveling from Khartoum to Port Sudan, and that human corridor was being used at that point in time, also on multiple occasions at various places they were stopped. But then when the groups were informed that they are Indians, there's batches of Indians, then they were allowed to go. So yes, Indians did have edge over any other national in Sudan right now in terms of evacuation. Back to you.
Siddhant, you're absolutely right. We have been looking at those first-person accounts for sure. Operation Kaveri has been in full swing, and there's been so much gratitude from the Indians who've landed, or be it, from even us to look at these people coming home safe. You've been talking to us about the various channels that they've been returning in, and today about 1,100 Indians will be coming back. Now we have some